The Arie tried to ban Young Miami's song Spend That from getting a Grammy? Or did the internet do what they do best and twist things around? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so beautiful, so lovely. People, I'd like to welcome to you.
So let's start off on talking about who Arie is for those who don't know. And this is for the newer generation. Because if you're in my generation, you know exactly who Arie is. She's a 50-year-old, four-time Grammy Award winner. She's a singer, she's a songwriter, she's a guitarist. Her music uplifted brown skinned girls. One of her infamous songs are called Brown Skin. She definitely promoted uplifting Black women, self-love, just self-worth. She also, not only did she uplift Black women, but she also uplifted the Black man and put him in such a positive light. So she is definitely an icon. Young Miami is a 32-year-old rapper. She is half of the group City Girls. She's a two-time BET Award winner. And she also hosts a podcast called Carisha Please. Now, I have never seen her podcast. And she also recently, got some backlash of being one, she was Diddy's girlfriend, and also writing a letter on his behalf and saying how great of a person he was. And so she has now created this song called Spin That, which has sent everybody in the uproar because of the opinions of the old school R&B artists having something to say. So when I initially saw all this stuff go down, I was in confusion because I was like, okay, well, these two are not in the same genre. What would be the issue between the both of them to where there would be any form of beef? But that's not even the case. What it was is that there was someone who had put out a thread. This was actually on Threads. Initially, I thought it was on Twitter, but it was on Threads. And it was this influencer by the name of Here Is Why Kevin. And so let's go over the tweet that he put, not the tweet, the thread he had put out. So here's why Kevin put out: this woman stood by and defended a man accused of rape, human trafficking, revenge porn, assault, attempted murder, and more. We all watched him beat the ish out of a young woman he groomed since she was 17 years old. She wrote a character witness statement on his behalf. She also doubled down on her statement that if her son were gay, she would beat his behind. And what did y'all do? Give her a song of the summer. Y'all are the reason we'll never be free. This individual, who is of Latin descent, is the one that put this out. So by his post, Arie saw this post and she replied. And so I think this is where people are getting confused because they felt like Arie was the one who initiated this whole thing. And not only did she respond not to his post per se, she responded to just a commentator, just a regular person on Threads. And this is what that individual had said. This person had put out, I'm calling for a boycott of Young Miami's song Spin That. I believe it's degrading to our culture. At some point, we have to take seriously the power music has over our perception and the values it reinforces. This can't be the song of the summer. With that being said, so that's what that person had put out there. And from her thread, people automatically thought, okay, well, this is Arie. No, people, this was just a regular person who commented, and then Arie commented after this. And this is what she said. And this is Arie responding to that thread. I spent my entire adult life caring way too much because I finally learned that not everybody cares with a capital C, and explaining it to them is not going to make them care. Everything you listen to, see or eat is going to influence you. So make wise choices, y'all. That is it. That is it. And then it goes from here to literally, seeing the most ignorant people commenting on Arie and whether or not she should even have an opinion on what music sounds like today, Or it's one of those opinions of like, well, there's been men out here who say this and who say that, this and the third. And India Arie, her music is just is male centered, and she doesn't ever advocate for the Black woman. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I feel like the at least the reels and the TikToks I have seen, it was like, hold on, pause. I don't know if you were an actual adult when India Arie was literally on and popping. When she was doing her thing, I don't know how in tune you were with neo soul music and her music in general. But male centered, I was like, hold on, what are they talking about? And before I even go into the songs that could possibly be male centered, let me ask you this, right? For someone who actually uses their brain, if there is a love song that is written, right? If you are talking about the type of person that you're interested in, is that considered either male or female centered? Who else would it be geared towards, right? But people fail to realize if they actually listen to her lyrics that India Arie promoted self-love, self-worth, loving you at your natural state. What are we talking about? There's a song that she made called Good Man. You know, it's referred to a good man, but it's like kind of storytelling. So if you listen to the verses, it's geared towards three different men. For some of the men who have made videos in reference to this, I need you guys to kind of pick a lane, right? You get mad if you feel like most of us women do the whole male bashing thing and we have nothing positive to say. So then you have a woman who finally uplifts you, and then y'all want to call her an old hag. And there's one particular person who had a lot to say, and that is Trick Daddy. And I never understood why someone like him would have so much to say. Let's take a look.
That not let these old ragla ass bitches deter nothing you trying to do. You bad body old bitches, not one to be giving how you feel about this young girl and her song. All the negative music that come out, you want to base on, you want to simply try to target a young Black female that's doing something positive, that's in her bag right now. You talked about her bag when she put out.
Okay, so I'm in confusion. It's not a white person talking about a Black person. It is a Black woman, not even talking directly to Young Miami. It's the lack of comprehension that's really irking me, because India Arie never mentioned this woman's name. Someone made a comment and she commented under that person's name. And we have to be honest. In today's music, I'm a Gen Xer. So I have lived through the era where lyrics had some weight, right? Where, yes, we had artists who talked about, selling weight, right? And in today's era, you have folks talk about their actual substance abuse. There is a difference. And back in the day, when they did talk about selling weight, they were talking about their actual experience. You got these kids out here rapping about their addictions. You don't think that's a problem, right? And the fact that you try to add the race into it when they're both Black women. How are we supposed to learn if we don't have each other's back? And just because there is an opinion about the certain things that we do, it shouldn't always be geared as it being negative. Constructive criticism is a thing. We should help each other grow. We should let each other know when we should be doing better. But no. That's not even the case. Here you have this man. We can go into what we possibly think Trick Daddy looks like. We can also talk about his failing career, but this is also a sick man. I don't know where he is as far as his journey of lupus and things. So I'm just going to say that he just hates life because of what he has going on, right? Go continue to cook, do what you do. But this right here was crazy. But let's continue. He still had more to say.
Certain singles, you talked about her over and over again with situations with who the she was dealing with. Everything y'all get on this internet and act like y'all life is all peaches and cream. But I know you old bad breath smelling ass bitches. I know you bitches. I know you. I know you mad. I know you hoes is mad and you jealous. You look at that young fine girl on that stage rocking these clubs each and every night, these appearances, these hosts. She dropping her hottest single out there. Shout out to Young Miami, one of the baddest, the finest little in the game right now.
Trick Daddy is in his 50s. You're in your 50s talking about this young lady as if she would even bat an eye your way. And even though you're on Love and Hip Hop and we see the scenarios that you put yourself in that you do tend to gear towards younger women, but that's only because one, they don't really like you. They only deal with you so then they can see whatever opportunities you can give them. If you like being used, good sir, then that's your issue. But no one is actually jealous of Young Miami, right? We want her to do great. Mind you, her music isn't my taste of music. I am that conscious thinker. I am that person who listens to India Arie, listens to Jill Scott. My favorite rapper is Mos Def. Right. So, and I love a Remy Ma who's a little gangster, whatever. But there's actual lyrics involved, right? Young Miami's lyrics talks about scamming, stealing, or whatever. Not my cup of tea. Now, I'm not the type of person who's going to come out here and tell you what to listen to, what not to listen to. I know as I was raising my children, I exposed them to certain kind of music. You could never sit here and say that, okay, I saw your kids twerking at the age of 3 or 5. No, but we do know that there's some parents who will let their kids listen to whatever. That just wasn't me. So if I talk to my adult children and they talk about the music that they're into, it's going to be similar to what I have exposed them to. So if my kids were young in this moment, Young Miami wouldn't be the person that I'd be thumping to due to the lyrics. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm not going to get on nobody's platform talking about, this, that, and the third. I just know what I will support, what I wouldn't support. And she's one person that I wouldn't. It has nothing to do with jealousy. Just she isn't my cup of tea. I think that what she was trying to say as far as us as a people, that we just need to be mindful about the music that we listen to because music has power. So it's the words you put out there will definitely resonate with somebody. I'm not her, so I can't really tell you what she meant, but I do have a video to show you. And then she explains it a little further, is that let's not glorify the things that are wrong in our community. And she has a point. But then you have boneheads like this that feel like it's due to physical appearances, it's due to success. Listen, India Arie, her success is way better as of right now, is way better in comparison to Young Miami. So she has nothing to prove there. You know what I'm saying? If we want to talk about features, okay, let's talk about, the superficial stuff. Is Young Miami pretty? Yes. But did she pay for some of the things that she has going on? Right? Is she a natural body? What are we talking about? Now, the beauty standards have changed, but you really can't sit here and talk about this whole jealousy thing and because someone is pretty. If it's manufactured, don't kill me. But if it's manufactured, how much did you love you? And that's one thing that India Arie did, was to let you know it's okay to love you right where you are. Love your brown skin, love your hair, love yourself. So here is a video of India Arie explaining this whole debacle.
And I've been in the blogs a couple times this last week, and so I wanted to come and talk about these things. Let's talk about the easy one first. It is being wrongly reported that I think we should boycott this song of the summer. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I refuse to sing that song, but either you know what it is or you don't. And if you don't, you can go find it. It's very easy. But I don't think we should boycott. What I want is to see people understand the power of words and music and to make choices that are healthy for them. That's what I want. Do I think it matters what I want for people? No. I have finally learned that it doesn't matter and that there's no amount of sacrificing my life force energy that is going to make anybody want anything better for themselves. All I can do is emanate what I emanate, stand for what I stand.
So did anyone comprehend that? Everybody, again, has their preference of music. You are entitled to like what you like because I like what I like, and I'm not going to force you to like it. But she said it herself. She's not the one that called for the boycott. It was a regular person who did that. But the fact that nobody wants to do their research and to go find out where all this came from, she has the bigger name versus the regular person. Hell, the regular person didn't say nothing either. I think that person had put a post out on their stories talking about, when when you share your voice is some mess, but didn't say, hey, yo, it's me. Y'all should at least bring that energy towards me. I'm that one that said to boycott, spend that, and this is why. But poor India Irie caught caught the caught the heat for it because she is the bigger person in this particular scenario, and she gave her opinion. We pick and choose when we all should have an opinion, right? You don't have to like it. There's a lot of opinions out there that I actually detest, but I'm not going to go out there and spend my energy on commenting or putting hate. That's one thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to always be honest, but I'm always going to keep it respectful. That's our motto over here. I'm going to tell you the truth, but disrespect, you're not going to get that from me because I enjoy having good karma. I preserve my peace in that nature where I know that God is always looking and I don't have the time to sit here and deal with the mishaps of what he can throw my way for being an awful individual. Not going to do that. But this lady didn't say nothing about boycotting that daggum song. Like, my goodness. But people could not. It's just like thinking and researching is not a common thing. I take it.
Stand for and hope that it reaches who it's meant to reach. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to do. And so my comment makes it very clear that I don't think we should boycott. My comment is tantamount to everybody doesn't want the same thing. And there are a lot of people who are saying it's just a song. Well, if that's what you think, enjoy. But what I know is that music has power. But of course, I have used that power to help some people. And I have traveled around this world twice. And I see the impact of what we export out of the Black American experience to the rest of the world. Longer story for another time, but I've seen it, so I know. And I'm telling you what it is, but you enjoy if that's what you want to do. And I will enjoy doing what I want to do. And that's why I don't think anybody needs to boycott. I think people just need to make choices for themselves. That's what I think. That's one. Two, also, this is a short version of a longer video. I put a much longer video where I go into detail about these concepts on my Substack, so go check that out if you're interested.
So I hope that clears things up. But then I see this tweet of a regular person, I'm assuming. I really can't tell who's regular or who's verified because everybody has a blue check. Okay. So this person says, don't mind India Irie. She means well, but she was raised in Colorado, whatever that means. She believes her Black excellence revolves around how we appear in front of white people. This right here irks the living mess out of me. Why is it that it always comes to the point where we're trying to impress someone else? Why can't we just, for one, want to uplift one another, educate one another, influence one another to do better in general, versus us wanting to put on this facade in front of someone else? But people are just wired differently. Ignorantly. India need to understand, that's what she put, need to understand we no longer give a F about how white folks view our behavior as regards our music way of talk or expression. I don't think that was ever a thing. I'm pretty sure that wasn't her messaging whatsoever. And in her music, nothing is geared towards trying to make a white person feel comfortable. But it would take for you to actually listen to her lyrics to definitely understand that. It would actually pay attention to what she said would help you understand that wasn't her messaging. But again, people rather be ignorant to what's going on and to create their own narrative to put out ignorance like this. We having fun. Not all of our music needs to be about consciousness. Like, damn, okay. No, it doesn't have to be. And nor did she say that. But again, her messaging was about the stuff that you put out there. Sometimes isn't positive. We have kids listening to that. I think that's most of the time, right? I'm not going to influence an adult, but if a child comes across my content. I want to make sure that I'm not putting anything out there that is negative to where they could potentially mimic or to think that something I said or did is okay. So then you have Nikki Gilbert. Nikki Gilbert is the lead vocalist of Brownstone. That was also not in this time frame, right? But I don't know if she's a part of the Grammy committee, but she did mention that she does have voting power. And she did also voice that Spin That doesn't deserve a Grammy. But let me allow her to tell you exactly what she said.
And if we out here, and I get it. I get the argument that, well, girl, ain't nobody really finna be out here boosting. That's you with your grown ass, who shouldn't be bopping around to that ignorant shit anyway. But to the young, impressionable young women, many of whom I know in my family personally, who have had issues with boosting and stealing and shit, who miss time with their kids, who weren't able to be present as parents because they were locked up for boosting and scamming. And now we got a record that has taken off. When I first heard it, I was like, I ain't even gonna say nothing about this shit because it's gonna go away. Ain't no way in the world this is gonna become like the number one most popular record on the planet. And guess what's done happened? It has become the number one it's debuted on Billboard at number one. People are talking about the possibility of it becoming a Grammy nominated record. I hope, as a voting member, that we have a say in whether or not that happens.
Again, it wasn't India Arie. It was Nikki Gilbert. Now, if you don't know who Brownstone is, my God. If you like R&B music, if you love real singing, I'm going to suggest you go find Brownstone and take a listen. Nikki Gilbert has to be one of the greatest vocalists at least in my lifetime. And beautiful, great artist. Now, I know she's had some diva-ish moments. I think she was on a show called Something Divas or whatever. Talent is what that woman possesses. And you just have the older generation noticing the shift in music. I can sit here and tell you from me growing up, right? I was born in 1979. When I first started paying attention to music from the 80s up until now, talk about the shift in R&B and how the sexiness became raunchy to hip hop when it goes from lyricism to barely making out what people are saying. You know what I'm saying? And people could sit here and compare Young Miami to like a Little Kim. I don't think everybody responded to Little Kim well. And even though there are songs that I still rock on my playlist that Little Kim is in it, I can't do it. I personally can't do a bunch of raunchiness. If you start being so descriptive of what you're going to do behind closed doors, this is where your girl, she checks out. I can't. I'm not a prude, mind you, but there's certain things that my ears just can't register and I don't want to hear it. Leave stuff to the imagination. That has always been a thing when it comes down to music in general. You can still be provocative, but mysterious all at the same time. But in this scenario, which is, I guess, is upsetting to Nikki Gilbert, is that she has thieves in her family. And because of their crime, they had to lose time away from their family because they decided to steal, boost, or whatever, or scam, whatnot. And having a song kind of promoting it or hyping it up, rather, is disheartening. If you don't think so, okay, move it along. But what you sit here and can't do is insult the artists that came before this one and talk about them being old or setting us back because we're bringing a person down. That is not the message. Us elders wanting to educate the young ones should be a thing that we should all be doing, right? It takes a village to grow our community. Why should I watch you do something dumb? I'm not saying Young Miami did anything dumb. But if I feel like this is tarnishing us or something that you're doing that is influencing us in the wrong direction, why not say something? The same way I come out here and I talk about like Clarissa Shields. I wouldn't want to see that woman, especially that Black woman, being pulled down by anybody for their gain when she is the actual talent. Now, whether or not you listen is one thing, but we should be lifting each other up and we should be the ones calling each other out. And the whole argument about why are Black female artists always being attacked, being targeted, being put down, and that's an me personally, I don't feel like that's always the case, because I just saw not too long ago, if I think he still gets criticized. Kanye got it for a long time, mind you. Kanye did a lot of dumb stuff and said a lot of foolery, but regardless of the things that came out of his mouth, he still caught it. Didn't Drake catch it? Right? This man came out with he caught it for 2 years straight. Came out with 3 albums, and we still all said something negative about his. I mean, they were garbage, right? But he still got criticized over and over again. I just think that it just kind of goes with the territory. When you put any form of content out there, it's going to get some form of criticism. We don't have to like everything that somebody says, nor should the thoughts of other people stop you from doing what you feel like you need to do. In this scenario, I don't feel like it's any form of, misogyny whatsoever. I feel like you have artists who gave their opinion and stated that some music that is put out there shouldn't for the culture, and some of us who are in the culture beg to differ. But even though some of us beg to differ, we were also very insulting, very degrading, very demeaning, and I don't think that was warranted either. Who's going to talk about that? And then you had some producers being mad disrespectful, and they went ahead and mixed India Arie song and Young Miami song together. And it was like, well, why would you do that? And what's crazy is, again, India Arie never said this lady's name. After Nikki Gilbert put out that video, she realized she was getting some backlash for that too. But for whatever reason, I didn't see as much backlash for her than I saw for India Arie, but she put out a tweet. So she stated, for my readers, I've recently gone viral for sharing my perspective on the song Spin That. The responses have ranged from thoughtful disagreement to outright hostility, which is very true. Some people have called me out of touch. Others have accused me of clout chasing, being disingenuous, or attacking hip hop. None of that is true. Again, the lack of comprehension is wild business. Where did everybody get that from? And if you have any idea, please let me know down in the comment section, because that I'm in confusion. So let me be clear about what I'm saying and what I'm not. I come from the belief that it takes a village. Like I said, in my village, I've watched children live with the consequences of adult choices: scamming, boosting, addiction, violence, incarceration, and trauma. These choices don't end with the individual, which is true. They echo through families and generations. That's why I spoke up. I didn't make the video because I thought everyone would agree with me. I made it because I believe silence is expensive. And I think that that's our problem in general, right? Some of us, and I will say myself, when I see things that are wrong, sometimes I don't speak out on it, and I need to do better as a person. Just kind of let it, whatever, right? And not open up. She thought something was wrong. She felt like this song wasn't worthy of going to number 1, getting a Grammy, because of the actual lyrics. And we're in a time now where lyricism isn't a thing. As long as it has a good beat, people are rocking to it. And this is coming from a person who was raised in an era where lyrics mattered. And so she wanted to give her opinion, not to be attacked online. And nor did she feel like, even if she was going to get any form of backlash, that wasn't going to stop her from actually having an opinion and using her voice to share how she felt. Which brings me back to Spin That. Hip hop did not create poverty. It did not create violence. It did not create addiction. It did not create crime. Those problems existed long before rap music. But let's stop pretending music exists in a vacuum. When commercially successful songs repeatedly celebrated scamming, boosting, retaliation, criminal behavior, while healthier messages struggle for visibility, They don't simply entertain. They contribute to the culture environment people live in. If you have any disputes, feel free to comment now. Behavior is shaped by many forces, including family, education, economics, policy, faith, peers, media, and music. Music isn't the only influence, but it's far too influential to pretend it has none, which is so true. One criticism I've heard repeatedly is that there are bigger fish to fry. I agree. But one of the biggest fish is the minds of our children. I've been boots on the ground. I've participated in political advocacy. I believe we should vote, organize, and hold elected officials accountable. But politics shapes policy, culture shapes people. Continued in comments. Long before many young people entered a voting booth, they've already absorbed thousands of hundreds of music, television, social media, and entertainment. If we're willing to debate politics because it influences society, we should be just as willing to debate the culture that shapes it. This conversation isn't about censorship. It's about responsibility. Artists absolutely have the right to create whatever they choose. The rest of us have the same right to ask what those creations are teaching, rewarding, normalizing. That's not an attack on hip hop. It's an act of love for the culture. I'm not condemning the hood. I am the hood. I'm a Detroit girl through and through. I understand struggle because I've lived it. That's exactly why I refuse to romanticize the behaviors that too often leave our babies incarcerated, addicted, traumatized, or dead. If speaking honestly about that makes me unpopular, I'll live with that. And how is this? I'm not done with her comment. But how can you disagree? How can you disagree when all she wants to do, all India Arie wants to do is uplift us as a whole versus not saying nothing when we feel or they feel that we should do better as a community. So you just want things to happen and then you have no one calling you out on it. Again, me personally, I don't care for the song, but I also don't care whether or not it gets a Grammy. And that's where I guess with Nikki Gilbert, if I had a vote, of course I wouldn't vote for it because I feel like there's other songs that could get, I guess, the number one hit of the summer or just a number one hit in general. And this wouldn't be it. But I do believe that music does have an impact. No, just because you listen to the song doesn't mean you're going to go get out there and boost. But those who already do this, now they have an anthem. I don't know. Again, I wouldn't put so much of an issue with this song. I've heard it on TikTok. And for real, I didn't pay attention to the lyrics until, because it's one of those things that just pass by, or if I see a dance to it, okay, move it along. But I know who the artist is, and she is not my cup of tea. Her group isn't my cup of tea. So I'm not going to sit here and give her any listens. Even when it came down to this whole situation where I wanted to talk about it, I didn't go to Apple Music to listen to the entire song. I didn't want to give her a play. You can say what you want to say about me, but I don't give my money, my time, my energy towards certain kind of music, and that is one of them. But I am an old schooler in that sense. Lyricism is real big, and putting positivity into us is something that I would rather do than something negative. Again, when it comes down to hip hop, I'm aware what I grew up listening to, what I still listen to. But also, even within that, those who talked about certain things that they experienced in their community, they also came out of it. They're also in a different tax bracket and doing positive things with their talent. I can't sit here and back up a person who took their time to write a letter to a judge on someone as disgusting as Diddy. But let's keep this going. I've spent my entire career speaking truth to power, whether that meant challenging billion-dollar corporations over intellectual poverty or challenging conversations within my own community. I'll continue to do both because I'll still believe it takes a village, and villages don't survive when someone stays silent. So yes, We're all on Beyonce's internet, hoping the algorithm amplifies our message. The real question isn't whether we're chasing attention, it's what we're asking people to pay attention to. I don't understand why this energy and the energy of India Arie got so much backlash and so much disrespect. So, if you are that person who felt like India Arie and Nikki Gilbert did way too much, please let me know down in the comment section because I personally don't. So that's enough spit talking for me today. Let me know down in the comment section on how you felt about this whole scenario. Did you feel like India Arie and Nikki Gilbert were saying way too much? Do you feel like Young Miami song got backlash for no reason? I mean, right? To each his own. But me personally, I feel like there are other songs, there are other artists, there are other lyrics that deserve more of a backlash than this. And we're not going to pin generation to generation because let me tell you something, things are definitely different. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the type of person that's going to say, well, grow with the times. Because I'm not. Because I don't. Because my playlist, honey, I'm still stuck in an era when it comes down to certain things. And I also have opinions on what I consider good music. But I'm not going to sit here and say this particular song will cause any harm. But I also feel that we as a people, as a whole, because I can only speak about the community that I'm in, to kind of be more aware of what is put out there and to also listen to your elders. None of us are going to sit here and tell you something that's not going to benefit you in the long run if you just listen. Because we're only speaking for we're only speaking to benefit us and to make us grow and to make us positive. We don't care about how we look to other people. What we want to do is build our own community and how we look to each other and how our kids look to us. And to disrespect our elders has become such a habit and it has been accepted that I can't get with that. You can disagree, but don't be disrespectful. That's it. That's all I got. Alrighty, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and comment down below. And if you want to join a family to where we speak the truth, but keep it respectful, by all means, press that subscribe button. And I will definitely catch you all in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.
That's what I'm talking about.